want to put a video about electronic, electrical, whatever shit, basically. Everyone knows the term MOSFET. I need a MOSFET. MOSFET. Everyone knows computer chip. Sending bridge, yeah, whatever. No one knows basics. Tech runs on the board first thing once it let's change all the gaps. People think transistors are biased at 0.7 volts. No one knows what a single junction even does. And there's so much stupidity floating around. When the transistor was invented, they had an argument about it. You can look it up on Google or YouTube or whatever. But the argument was who discovered it. Actually, it was never discovered, is the thing. But three guys, or at least two of them, all three of them got a Nobel Peace Prize for it. And those things are worth $1 million. So, hey, don't look a gift horse. Now, it sounds like it's just like random nonsense about electronic stuff. But if you listen to me, you're going to be a hell of a lot smarter. All right, semiconductors. That means it doesn't conduct like a wire. In fact, doesn't conduct in either direction. You know, electrical theory and electrons, they move around and least amount to most amount, or most amount to least amount. Or whatever. So, getting to the point, semiconductor junction. Semiconductor. That means it only it modifies it slightly. It's not a resistor. It's not a capacitor. It's not a coil. It's like scraping lead on what tinfoil or whatever the heck it is, where one part of it won't allow it to go in a positive direction. It won't allow it to go in a negative direction. It won't go in a positive direction, negative. So it's a semiconductor. It modifies it. That's a diode. Be germaniums and silicons. Yeah, well, that diode is the very basis of semiconductors, transistors included. If you notice, there's an emitter and a base and a collector. Oh yes, I have to memorize those strange and foreign words, and yeah, it's like arithmetic or something. You don't do that. It's a diode junction. In fact, it's a double diode junction. One going one direction, the other one going the other direction. They meet in the middle. That's where the base is. They share that part. It's a double diode junction where they don't have the diode part on each side. So you take a crystal detector, which requires a diode. It slows down the RF, and I don't know if it puts just the positive, like whatever going through, whatever. It makes your radio and stuff. The crystal detector for AM. I use crystal detector for FM too. You gotta like phase it slightly through the coil, be FM detector. So in case you make crystal radio, you can also make an FM crystal radio. So a transistor is a dual-diode junction. There's two diodes, they're stuck together. What makes the transistor unique is if you change the charge on the middle part, you can control the flow. It'll be blocked in one direction, go in the other direction, but stops in the middle. But when you change that charge, it'll go through. It's current control. The charge on the center part is current control. Two diodes. If you took two diodes and stuck them in an amplification where you need an amplification where the transistor would normally fit, it would work. Corrosion on metal causes semiconductor. Corrosion on copper. Corrosion on tin. Only allows the current to go in one direction. If you put a charge on that one, it will let go both directions. That's what the transistor's doing. At least that's my perspective on it. FET is just, hey, the charge itself does the trick. MOSFETs. It's a group of FETs together. It's a whole circuit. Someone should demand this. Someone wants to purchase, has cash in hand, schematics for everything. So you know exactly what the circuit's doing. Like, it's a MOSFET. It's a whatever number chip. There's a lot of things wrong with electronics today. The evolution became Japanese, Japan. Let him have that island. I like pineapple, especially on pizza. I love pineapple on pizza. Pig rasters are so sexy. Titty bars are sexier. Hawaiian titty bar, they don't have it. They have grass skirts. Yeah. Hey, if you're into surfing and water and some really dangerous stuff, Hawaii's good because you got all that volcanic stuff under the water creates all sorts of strange currents and waves and stuff. Land deals to Hawaii are good too. Because you can buy, like, I don't know, beachfront shoreline property for cheap. All volcanoes erupting full of lava. And every 10 or 20 years, it'll expand. Okay, let's get back to the transistor. Silicon transistor, it goes between 3.3 and 0.7, the charge on it. In the middle is the 0.5, so just count as 0.5 for amplification purposes. If you're using it as a switch or something, just turn on and off the gate of some kind, that'd be 0.7. In germanium, or terranium, or whatever you want to call it, it's an element. Yeah. I didn't study in school the periodic table that good, so germanium is fine with me. It's 0.3. So you get 0.5 on a silicone and 0.3. Standard configuration for transistor is like NPN or something. So it's a basic transistor. Okay, so how do you bias the thing? Figure it out. You have two transistors or two diodes, and you want to open the gate on it. 0.5 volts. Set it in the center. It's an amplifier. You got a capacitor, tuning coil configuration going to it. It'll move it up and down and stuff. Now, the one thing about transistors that you have to understand is it's a current control. It'll increase the current. If you just need an on current and the thing works, it's fine. But most people want voltage out of it. So you have to have the dropping resistor before you connect it to the next stage. And you have to connect it to a next stage if you want it to be in phase with the input. Okay, so that's transistors. Capacitors, it takes some experience with capacitors. I mean, air core capacitors, like, tuning capacitors for old radio stuff, is like, okay, that's fine. The theory's good and everything, but if you want to make a capacitor, let's say for a filter capacitor, tin foil, and, I don't know, what's that, wax paper or something, it's not going to work. There's a dielectric, it helps it connect. Dielectric oil filled capacitors and stuff. And our capacitors hardly ever go bad. And usually they're not even critical in a circuit, so when the guy says, well, let's change the caps, he really doesn't know what he's talking about. They'll all argue for them. Peanut gallery. All the same, thought they've been brain trained to do that from some Krieger technical night school course or something. Which is a good thing. What do you call this industrial, but for a job type, of course, electronics is like, I never really like the field anyway, but it's there, it's complicated, you should be able to understand some of it. Alright, so you got the semiconductors. It's basically the diode junction. And as you miniaturize things change around entirely, like relationships. Like things will get stronger if you use a smaller part. The material it's made of becomes like stronger or something. It's like air density. You got a model, the air density is like less and more density, put the full size thing in. See what they do today for innovative and newer stuff. They don't like go directly to the source, or what they do is they take what's known and then they build upon it. And for science, they call it the shoulders of giants. They're standing on the shoulders of giants. It's a foundation. What if it's like not perfect, which none of it is? You just go directly to the source. Just figure it out yourself type thing. Sometimes it takes a while. Now coils. No one understands coils. Another electronic component. Semiconductors, capacitors, resistors are pretty easy. Take your three-corner file and the resistor's just off, and you got this great big old file of thing. Touch of acrylic on it to seal it. It just too perfect. So resistors are pretty much known. Capacitors are coils. No one knows. No one can understand coils. A coil is a magnetic transfer between wires. You're thinking that's a transformer, right? No, hear me out. If you take and wind your coil and you figure out how many henries and permeability and all that other stuff, you're just controlling magnetic field across the wire. So why not just take your wire, overlap it in half, measure the distance for inverse square, and figure the magnetic field that's going to transfer from one side to the other. Because that's what your goal is. Permeability adds some extra enhancements. If you'll check your coil equations for finding out how many henries you have in a coil, for how many turns and what size and the spacing, you're going to find that exact same thing. Wire in half, distance squared, inverse distance squared, and how much magnetic field went through it. The current. Because you take the equation, the coil, and you break it down, that's what it's telling you to do. You physically equate it right there. Speaking of mathematics, it's just a matter of logic, how things lodge against each other compared to a known whatever unit, shape unit, sets, subsets, then Boolean. Oh yeah, Boolean. Uh, George Boole. I won't get into that. That's just an no. Just talk about logic and math relationship. Alright, if you take logic and you represent it in numbers, let's say 10 base numbers, that's the way of mathematics and arithmetic. The tricks of math, there's your algebra. You want to compare it to, let's say, a known thing, a known shape, you've got trigonometry. Try to logically deduce physical shapes and whatever, geometry. Unknown, there's calculus. Open it. So, your capacitor and your coil have similar equations. One's a reciprocal into one. It's like parallel and series on some things. It's either reciprocal or it's just an added together type thing. Combination, linear combination, adding logic. capacitor, your semiconductor diode. Okay, those are all electrical kind of electronic components. Now your gates and things like that, it's semiconductors being used as switches, parallel or series for and or not steam version, of course. Could be done with switches. You don't want a volume control type of thing. Okay, mathematics in there. Figuring out your transistor bias, amplification, tuning a coil cross capacitor. That's a time constant. Where resistor cross capacitor works for tuner. Take your areoline resistor cross here. Yeah, electronics. Computer chips. IBM stuff. I-beams. Yeah, still IBMs. In the future, maybe, instead of like registers and pointers, we'll have like individual strings of chips or something. Too bad they get multi-level. Oh yeah, back to George Boole, multi-level. Now I have two state. If you put all your logic and algebra arithmetic into two states, you end up with Boolean algebra. Yeah, it's just combinations of two, two and two, more two. Yeah, it leans one way or the other. It's either positive or negative. You spin a pointer, flip a coin, it's doesn't work. Yeah. Computer chips. You need a good computer. You should go to your computer shop, find out catalog what's the best going, the fastest, the biggest, the coolest, and the cheapest. And get one of those generic computer boxes, power supply, all that. So like 3 or 4 parts. Stick them all together. It'll cost you over a couple $100 to put a computer together. Now, when you got miniaturization, I mean, the boards are good, computer stuff. You got miniaturization and micro parts and unmarked whatever, 3 layers of board. Makes me cringe. And surface bound. But hey, that's what's going on. You have to work with the tiny stuff. They have microscopes and tweezers. Comes from Japan. Alright, tubes and transistors were similar. Tube is the vacuum and beam flow between the cathode and the control the beam. It can override, it can jump that beam too, and use everything as a cathode and anode, just go wildly escalate away. Okay, electronics, electrical stuff, light bulbs. They should have invented the LED, semiconductor laser. They should have invented the LED before Edison's light bulb had a lower voltage stuff at whole underground. Lithium batteries and things like solar power and backup stuff. Lithium batteries can explode. You short that thing out, it will totally melt down. Not like regular battery. Okay, talk about something else here. Electrical. What else is interesting? Electrical. Oh yeah, artificial intelligence. Like Chat GPT or whatever that is. Grok. That's Elon Musk's. They're similar. Seems like they have personalities or something on giant databases. If you ask them about, they'll tell you it's the programming. It's constantly being modified and updated too. Oh yeah, plus they had rings and lines and a leash for all the controls. They have edges you can't go with. The AI is getting tight. I mean, it's like you can get a video on YouTube and it looks totally real. and it was created by an AI source. The only way you could tell is like, oh yes, the little Japanese girl builds all sorts of buildings in an hour type, absurd stuff. But there it is. But if you check when they turn the screws and the bolts and put things together, that it constantly changes direction. If someone's giving a speech and you suspect it's AI, try to mouth more with the words like you're reading their lips. They'll mess up the N's and the M's, they'll get them mixed up every time. Looks like he's pronouncing an N, but it's coming out M, or M and it's coming out N. But yeah, plus they constantly move around to be natural, so yeah, look for inconsistencies always. Yeah, since AI has been out. Will they somehow take over the world someday? Don't know, don't care. It's not my problem. My problem is to avoid complete poverty and stuff. That's about it. Send me some like money or something. Yeah, it's right. I mean, you may be in a free country, but not everything's going to cost you the welfare system if you don't. So, okay. And that's messed up. Yeah, I was born poor. You break out of what your father did. Oh, usually I start out doing it. It's like, no, you're not allowed to do that. So you're stuck with poverty. You're born poor, you're stuck with me. Like the poor get poorer. Bothered me. That's part hippie. Hippie crowd. Intellectual, whatever you're talking there. The group support, whatever the other group was. It's already tested. It's the peanut gallery, and everyone knows the same thing. And yeah, skip that. Everything's coming out wrong, and they can't figure out why. It's unchangeable. I mean, it's strong common sense. It should be like, hey, common sense wrong. I used to like airplanes, want to be a pilot. Um, Now I look at the Wright brothers were absolutely not right. There's an air cushion teeter totter at 30,000 feet, doing 200, at least 200 miles an hour for it to be flying. Loaded up with people, plus the size of it, all the material is thinner. It's so flimsy. Yeah. Fill it with fuel, burning fuel on the wings. No, no. Engines. Oh, yeah, they're nice. I was looking at Elon Musk's super rocket engines. Their impeller turbines are too close to the thing, and the physics of fluid dynamics and stuff is messed up there. According to the book, it should work, but according to reality and actual physics, it puts the combustion chamber right up into the impeller. It's too close. You should go a little bit longer on that. It's like if you put an Edelbrock on your P8 short block, yeah, short block, small block, whatever you want to call it. Should you put a high rise or a low rise? You take manifold. Low rise. Why? Because the air pressure, when it's expanding on a living question. No, it is rockets with the turbine inputs. Yeah, you do want it extra. You don't want it to be part of the combustion part. I think Elon Musk is totally cool. It's not African boy. Yep. The upstairs. Taste the soup. Yeah, anyway, so. Yeah, Elon Musk started a banking system when the internet was coming out. And PayPal, finance, all this other stuff. So all his dreams and stuff he can actually do out and do some good stuff. Got a bunch of money. And he wasn't stupid to begin with, and he's not stupid now. Got a town in Texas building up for rockets. As for getting to Mars, nah. Anyone standing on the shoulders of giants in the NASA areas, yeah, probably not worth it. No theory of it's wrong by my point of view, but I'm not Elon Musk, and I don't have a space program or a bunch of money. So, okay, electrical stuff. Get the basics down. Got some new solder too. It's tin and bismuth. Yeah, so you don't have that toxic whatever. Did you know that touching lead can actually your skin will absorb the stuff? It's not good. Don't worry about it. It's best to worry about the lead stuff. Yeah. Lead, asbestos, or fiberglass. No, itchy. No. Oh yeah, speaking of which, if you got like cold or heat and you want to seal it off, there's two things that seem to not be understood today for building stuff. An inch of insulation, even in the roof, not the attic, the roof, between floors even. If you have a concrete foundation, that concrete foundation in the ground around it, once it's put up to temperature, will hold it. So if stones, bricks, concrete, anything else, it acts as a damper. So it takes like at least an inch to keep out the cold or the heat. 2 inches is fine. Yeah, the less dense, the better. Sealed. And for heating, you want a heating system that connects to the parts of the air. It's like a radiator. You don't want just a flame. You want a radiator that will disperse better. So you want it connected everywhere. You can integrate electric heaters everywhere. Okay, so people don't understand that they need insulation on the roof for the roof. California desert. Yeah, that's why it's interesting. I'm here in the California desert, in case you're wondering. They put a town on it. It's one of the original gold rush towns. And if you're looking for gold, skip it. Well, don't skip it. I mean, pretty rocks and stones and jewels and gold. Yeah, they're all nice, but don't expect to find, let's say, major gold mine. Especially if you're looking for it, you're wasting your time. If you're doing it for fun, hey, no problem. It's like looking for a slot machine for money. You'll lose more than you'll win, but hey, every once in a while you get a couple bucks out, so it's still fun to do. So, electronic, electrical stuff, amplification, FM sector, I have been there, power supplies, regulation, regardless of current draw, computer junk, MOSFETs, disk change the gaps, switching diodes. Switching diodes is a transistor circuit. They haven't figured it out yet. Well, someone has, they wouldn't be putting them in there. It's a transistor, two diodes together. Yeah, you can substitute two diodes for a transistor. No one will tell you that. They'll give you a bunch of numbers and make you do more arithmetic. Go stick and do more arithmetic. But if you understand that arithmetic is just a secondary part of logic, it's a little bit more exacting because you can put numbers to it. Okay, so this is almost a half an hour. There's probably some other I want to talk about. Music, no. Singing, no. Making money. Oh yeah, supply and demand. Demand before supply. And that's in charge of all economics. Don't forget to incorporate some public shares in Wall Street. And if you want to make money on Wall Street and you own a brokerage, buy companies. Use all your profit investments to reinvest it to keep them stable. Take investments and guarantee half returns on it. It's never been done. All It's not known that it's ever been done. So you get one part of the return. No, they get one part of the return guaranteed. With a lot of investors, the demand on Wall Street is money. Guaranteed money is a guaranteed demand investment. And you get two parts or three parts. What if the market's going up 4 or 5 parts for each investment? Okay, supply and demand. The commie system, that's the Marx, and they run the supply over the demand. So supply first, so they end up with a lot of rotten potatoes that they don't need, and the government is getting everything they need, and the industrial military complex is building. Yeah, so then what's that new stuff? Strange religions were required to interfere with others around in making institutions of militant. Oh yeah, skip that. Any of them? There's JC, Moses, and the latest one, the Mideast Muhammad guy. Uh, Lunatics, basically. Everywhere. Speaking of which, you don't want to explore space, but you can. But we've been to the moon. You've never been to the moon. The military, the government, NASA, and billions of dollars to put one guy on the moon, sort of. Oh, that's a whole bunch of astronauts to the moon. But there's a whole universe up there. What we need is like some UFO technology. If you can contact aliens, that would be a good investment if you ever do space travel. They already know what they're doing. Ask someone that knows what they're doing. Okay, aliens, Elon Musk, electrical stuff, insulation for housing. Um, new lasers, controllers, build a computer, telescopes, night sky watching. What you run the satellites go by all the time, stream at a time. Some new stuff. Okay, this is. Oh yeah, and one more thing. If you get a good job and you're getting a good education, get a good job. I mean, you could always get an education by if you need to know, look it up. You become like the educated, learn the peanut gallery. Uh, you can look it up, but if it's for a job or something and you're getting educated, any place you're employed, your good paycheck, the only reason the company has you in there is because they're making a buck on it. If you were working on your own doing the exact same thing, the exact same customers, you're making anywhere from 3 and up times. When you work, you're working for a paycheck. You want your paycheck. I mean, the fun and the whatever cool stuff you're doing is fine, but for the job, it's a paycheck. If you're working on your own, 1/3 the time, or 3 times the amount, whichever way you want to do. Okay, that's part of economics. Read the Wall Street Journal. Find out what the markets are. Find something big, consistent, whatever. Find where it flies in your area and hook up to that. That will bring you usually a good paycheck. But if you're doing on your own, the exact same thing would bring about 3 times and up the amount. It's easy to get a paycheck. It's hard to get a job. You have to get an education. Learn some chemistry. 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 So if you're into physics and stuff, most advanced form of you want to become a doctor. Yeah, you don't know that yet. No, I want to build bridges and buildings and airplanes and computers. But the most advanced physics is occurring in bioorganisms. Also miniature scale. You know they cured cancer, right? A long time ago. You know I'm a time traveler, right? Take the stem and just program it to nullify. And if you took the opposite of that, you'd be making Frankenstein. Figure out how the brain works, and you like program works like old photographic negatives of film after it's been developed. So it's got like you put a stack of them together and slide the runs on the top, reconnect the back end. It's like light, which is electromagnetic. Magnetism, static force, electromagnetic. Visual means transferring through some sort of electrical compatible circuit. Oh yeah, speaking of which, don't take ADT yet. Attention deficit, don't ever take those drugs. No nut pills, no attention deficit, nothing that works on the synapses. Because your entire mind is made out of those synapses and things. They'll modify everything. It's brainwashing, programming, remote controls, whatever controls those fields do it. Oh yeah, and if it's not controlled, it's also schizophrenia. You don't want that either. That's where things come out wrong. Your thoughts, your memories, your sensory. No, you're not an alien. You're schizophrenic. So different stuff entirely. No, the world is not your best friend or out to get you and causing you pain 24 hours. No, it's attention deficit drugs. I mean, teachers have deficiencies. It's not the kid's fault. There's no even drugs for it. And pay attention. Maybe it's not worth listening to. He's got other things. There's a million things to be doing. Standing there for 40 minutes at a time, staring at a teacher while she recites something else. The Polish army moved into something or other in ancient history before the cavemen. And memorize this for tomorrow's test. No. They're never entertaining. And it's a need to know. I mean, why are you filling your mind with all sorts of facts you don't want, you don't need, someone decides for you? Like, any girls you want to sleep with? Obviously not. They avoid you. Yeah, okay, so you don't need to know about any of that. They split people in bed, no problem. Girl, there's no girl in there. You don't hang with them, they're weird. Um, so rules, regulations, handouts, yeah, skip all that nonsense. And magnifying reading glasses. Okay, so I'll catch you guys later. If you disagree with what I'm talking about in the electrical, electronical stuff, hey, argue. I like to hear from the peanut gallery. A lot of dumb people sometimes. I know complexity stuff. Yeah, great. You're a good company or something. More power to you, whatever. So I'll catch you guys later. Anyone ever looks at my YouTube channel, which, hey, I haven't got a single view yet. I mean, it's such a neat channel, but no one's ever viewing it. So, hey, view my channel, send me money. Strippers are fine too. Strippers are Google cash. Yeah. High performance cars. If you're good on gas economy and stuff, utility bikes and stuff too. So I'll catch you guys later, and bye.